Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Lone Cerberus and this is a Resident Evil Outbreak File 2 flashback playthrough where you get the bad ending, or the bad ending cutscene. So if you've watched the good ending cutscene, you'll have seen how to get that.
Yes.
I'm going to play once more as Kevin, so that you can actually see the difference. Let's take Cindy along. And as usual, I'm going to be playing easy infinity, so I can talk you through it without having to worry about it. Okay, so once the first cutscene is played, you'll find yourself in a cabin in the woods. Run forward and grab the shotgun. You'll notice that Alyssa is with us. This is Alyssa's scenario. Let's skip that. I long dismissed this scenario as non-canon, mainly because this scenario takes place outside of Raccoon City. So my logic being that if this scenario takes place outside of Raccoon City, why would the survivors have escaped only to go back into the city? But with Resident Evil 9 and the potential of this being Rhodes Hill, I'm filming this before Resident Evil 9 has released. With this potentially being Rhodes Hill, I now have to question that. Anyway, with that being said, out the door. And for now, you are going to be following Al, the person that walked in the door.
I'm scared.
Al will lead you to your objective. So if you don't know the route, follow Al and he will lead you to the objective. There are proto-IVs in here. Well, I call them proto-IVs. They look very much like the IVs from Resident Evil 2 Remake, which is why I call them proto-IVs. They do appear at random places along the path. There is at least 2 or 3. Keep them away from you because they do breathe spores that will poison you. Yeah, they will do that. If you want an extra weapon, head up this path and talk to Alyssa. And she will give you either a first aid spray and a stun gun if you want the extra weapon. Head back, remembering that there are proto-IVs. Al is being nice and he's waiting for you. He won't move until you get close to him. Follow the path round. Lead you to the suspension bridge. Head across the suspension bridge and onto the hospital grounds. Once you're in the hospital, you will start being stalked by the Axeman, or an Axeman. Run forward, turn left. There is good reason we're turning left. You have to wait for him to get relatively close. When he does that move, that's when you've effectively defeated him for now. I've only taken out that box so that Cindy grabs the shotgun. In this corner here, there is a map. Depending on the difficulty you're playing on, you do have to go through that door. You're looking for a syringe with some solvent in it. When you're ready, head back out.
What should I do?
Run forward and turn to the character's left and the first door on the right. Once you're in this corridor, head round to the right and round to the left. It actually doubles back on itself, and head down the steps to the basement. Depending on whether you got the syringe upstairs or here, use the solvent on the little pustule you'll find there. It will dissolve the plant. Normally I don't bother taking that vine out. It's more annoying than anything else. It does increase your virus meter if it gets hold of you, but as I say, it's more of an annoyance than anything else. Once you're in the pharmacy, run forward, grab the key with the blue tag, go around the corner and refill your syringe from this dispenser. There is a memo on the wall that tells you what you're actually doing with the syringe, as if you couldn't guess. But once you filled up the syringe and picked up the key with the blue tag, head back out, around the corner, head back up the stairs. At the top of the stairs you'll find a door. Use the key with the blue tag on it. As soon as you go through, aim your weapon. There is a proto IV in here. Ignore that pustule there and head up the stairs. Once you're up here, climb up the ivy and you'll head up onto the rooftop. Run forward, all the way forward. You'll find these two plants here. This is a matter of timing. Once they've released their spores, climb up the ladder. If you've timed it right, the next release of spores won't affect you. Once you're up on the auxiliary building, all the way up here you will find Mr. Axeman attacks you. This cutscene plays after 15 minutes of being in the of entering the mountain path. If you're not the hospital side of that, there is another way. I will explain it to you. I will explain it at the end. I'll explain it at the end of this scenario how to get it. If you've been following these walkthroughs, these playthroughs, you would have already seen it, actually how to do it. Once you've defeated L, head out of the ledge and then head up this ivy to the top of the roof. At the top you will find some more plants. You'll also find some wasps. Try and avoid the wasps if you can, because it's just a waste of ammo. Use the syringe on the little opening that I just stood by. If you do happen to get poisoned by the wasps, there is a blue herb up here. Don't use it straight away. Because you're going to be retracing your steps all the way back to where those two plants were spitting out their spores. So back down, around the corner, into the building, around the corner, and then we're dropping down the ladder. If you've been poisoned by wasps at this point, head straight down the ladder, because if the plants release their spores, it will knock you off the ladder. And you're already poisoned, so it won't make too much of a difference. Damn it. If you do get poisoned by the spores, there's usually a blue herb here, or if you happen to have Cindy with you, she might be able to give you a blue herb. Drop down the freshly made hole. And sometimes the axe is there, sometimes it's not. If you've got Mark on your team, give the axe to Mark. If he manages to do a wind-up attack with it, a full-on attack, it's an amazing attack. Does a lot of damage. Once you're in this room, you're going to pick up this red key. Ignore the door. You can't. Well, I say ignore the door. If you try and exit that door, vines grow up and hold the doorknob in place. Remember the position of this door though. So turn around, head out of the door into the next room. You'll see on your character's right a wheelchair that cannot possibly be moved. So you need to run up this. You need to run up corridor and unlock the door. Once you're through this door, turn right and go through the first door on your right. Head forward, keep heading forward, turn left and go through the main door. Once you're through, turn to the character's left, head up the stairs. And all the way up. Once you're here, door in the corner, go through it into the administrator's office. Now again, depending on the difficulty you're playing on will depend on whether you find a special weapon here or not. So in this case we've got a grenade launcher with flame rounds. Use the red key on the door, ignore everything in here and head to this corner. Now again, depending on the difficulty you're playing on will depend on whether you need to get a key for this part or not. Once you've got the key, or if you don't need the key, press the button and head on through the secret door. Again, ignore everything unless of course you need health. Head up into the auxiliary building 3. If you need to pick up ammunition or whatever, do that. Take out the wasps and the bees if you need to, and head through the door onto the rooftop. Once you're here, run forward underneath the arch of the plants. Ah, they got me.
Kevin! Hey you!
Okay, head to this corner and drop down the hole. In room 202, sometimes there is an IV here, proto IV, but it is RNG based.
Help! Don't give up. Darn.
Okay. That should have taken it out. Yep. Right. Again, depending on the difficulty, you will either have to go back to the basement to get the solvent, some more solvent, or on this bed here there is a syringe full of solvent. Regardless of what you have to, regardless of whether you get the syringe in the room or have to go back down, you need to go through the door. Again, sometimes there's a proto IV here, and head through the next door in front of you. Once you're in this room, again you might have to take out some IVs. What if you've got the syringe, or once you've got the syringe full of solvent, use it on this pustule here. The vine will wither, and the next objective is the plant. It's the plant's core. This core is down in the basement. So head out, unlock the room, and head on through. Turn to the character's left and head down the stairs. Okay, Axeman is here. Try and avoid him. It is completely random where he shows up, apart from the first and last stage that you see him. So heading back to the basement, So follow the route that you use to get the solvent. Run forward, right, all the way round and down. Trying to stay ahead of the Axeman if he's following you. David's here, good. And then into this room on the left. In this room you will find the boss. Normally I wouldn't bother with these vines, I'd just try and ignore them. But as I've got unlimited ammo, try not to waste your ammo. It's the core that you're aiming at. Usually it takes 3 or 4. There we go. Right, once you've taken the plant out, do not hang around. The plant is the only thing that was keeping the hospital together. Spits something mysterious out. Okay, you now need to head back to that door where the vines were holding the door shut. So head up the stairs, back around the U-turn. Don't worry about the Axeman, we're going for the bad ending. Head on through. You need to stun him so you can get past, but head on through and out the door.
Whoa, escaping that plant-infested hell was a rush. And I don't have time to sit and talk about it. If I don't get out of this town soon, the virus will get the best of me, and I'll join those plants myself.
So that's the bad ending cutscene. That one is leaving the mystery behind. So basically you're not entirely sure what happened. So I hope that gives you a good idea of how to do flashbacks, bad ending. Now I did say there was a third ending for each character, and that is true. If you go back a few days if you go back and look at the playlist that this is part of and look for how to find Lucy and Regan playthrough, you'll see that basically you have to wait in the mountain path for 15 minutes for the suspension bridge to collapse. You then need to cross over the suspension bridge to get the third ending. That's the same for all characters. Whether you find Lucy and Regan or not, that's entirely up to you. But crossing the big suspension bridge will give you the third ending. Right, with that being said, I hope that's helped. I hope that gives you an idea of what to do to get the bad ending on Flashback, which you do need to do to 100% complete the scenario. So thank you very much for watching. and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.